Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about something that divides writers almost instantly, namely outlining. Some writers swear by it, while some writers avoid it completely. And some feel like they should be outlining, but every time they try, their story suddenly feels flat and lifeless. If that's you, then this video is for you, because outlining doesn't kill creativity, but outlining the wrong way absolutely can. So today I want to talk about how to outline in a way that supports your creativity instead of suffocating it. First, let's address the fear. When writers say outlining kills their creativity, what they usually mean is that once they know what's going to happen, they lose the excitement of discovering it. And that makes sense. Discovery is fun, it's energizing, it feels alive. But here's what you need to keep in mind. Outlining isn't about removing discovery. It's about changing where discovery happens. Because if you don't outline at all, then discovery happens on the page during drafting. However, if you do outline, discovery happens before drafting in a more flexible, low-pressure space. You're still discovering, you're just discovering earlier. Now, here's where outlining goes wrong. Writers often try to outline everything, every scene, every beat, every line of escalation. And when you over-specify your story, you leave no room for surprise, even for yourself. That's when it starts to feel mechanical. So let me offer a different approach. Outline in layers instead of in detail. Instead of mapping every scene, ask yourself, what is the central problem? What forces my character to engage with it? What is the turning point near the middle? What choice defines the ending? That's the spine of your story. The beginning, the escalation, the climax, and the aftermath. You don't need the connective tissue yet, just the major shifts. If you know those, then you have a direction without rigidity. Allow yourself to have intentional gaps. This is important. When you outline, you don't need to answer every question. Instead, leave space. For example, you might know in the middle the character betrays someone, but you don't have to know exactly how that betrayal unfolds yet. That discovery can happen in the draft. Think of your outline as a map with major landmarks, not a GPS giving turn-by-turn instructions. Landmarks keep you oriented, but you still get to explore the terrain. And don't just focus on events, but also on outlining motivations, since this is where creativity really thrives. Instead of listening only to what happens, also note, why does this matter to the character? What belief is being challenged here? What emotional shift is happening? When you outline internal movement, the story stays alive, because stories aren't just about events, they're about transformation. Here's an example. Let's say you're writing about a character who wants recognition. In your outline, you might write Act 1, they're overlooked at work. Act 2, they compete for a promotion. Act 3, they must choose between integrity and recognition. That's structure, and you can build on it as much or as little as you want. But the creative energy lives in the emotional arc where questions arise. How does being overlooked affect them? Are they angry, insecure, determined, bitter? Those layers aren't killed by outlining, they're clarified by it. Here's something for you to consider. Treat the outline as temporary. In fact, this might be the most freeing mindset of all. After all, an outline is not a contract, it's a draft of a plan. You are allowed to change it, you are allowed to ignore it, you are allowed to discover something better and adjust. Many writers kill their creativity because they treat the outline like a rule book. Instead, treat it like scaffolding. It supports the structure while you build, but it's not the building itself. Now, let's talk about a hidden benefit of outlining. For while I realize there are pantsers out there, since I myself used to be one, the fact is that outlining protects your motivation. When you don't know where your story is going, you rely entirely on inspiration. And inspiration is unreliable. Some days it's there, some days it's not. An outline, however, gives you something to work with on the days when there's not much creativity. It reduces decision fatigue, which actually helps you move ahead with your project, regardless. There's also this. Many writers who think they can't outline are actually just over-outlining. They jump straight into hyper-detailed planning, and of course that feels exhausting. If you feel like that's an issue for you, try lighter outlining. 3 to 5 major turning points, a rough emotional arc. That's it. Let the draft do the rest. The point is, if you're naturally more of a discovery writer, you don't need to become a strict planner. You just need enough direction to avoid writing yourself into a corner. And if you're naturally a planner, you don't need to script every scene before drafting. You just need enough clarity to feel confident starting. Either way, the thing to consider is that creativity actually thrives within constraints. Now, that might sound counterintuitive, but a completely blank page can feel paralyzing, whereas a lightly sketched path feels possible. So if outlining has felt like it drained your story in the past, it might not be outlining itself. It might have been too much detail or too much rigidity, too much pressure to get it right. But it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, the most important thing with outlining is that you give yourself enough direction to avoid lengthy rewrites, because that's no fun at all. Trust me, I've been there. So in order to ensure that you keep your creativity alive and avoid that feeling of being confined to a strict path, try outlining less. Try outlining emotionally, and try outlining with the understanding that you're allowed to change your mind. Before we wrap up, please let me know in the comments below if you consider yourself more of a planner or a discovery writer. And if outlining has frustrated you before, what part felt restrictive? If this video helped you rethink outlining and you'd like more practical guidance on plotting, structure, and finishing your novel, please consider subscribing to the channel for weekly videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.